better. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll start off with, for those who don't know me, background. And basically, I mean, I've loved sports. That's why this website is mine. I started talking about sports because that's what I love. I've loved sports since I was a kid. I mean, climbing trees is not really a sport, but that's what I did a lot of. And I played basketball all through school, from like elementary school, YBC, up through school. And the biggest love was water polo, which I found in grade 8. And I played that all through high school. And then when I went away in 1988, I went away to Queen's University, and I played there for all my time there, 4 years. And actually, in second year there, a buddy of mine and I were talking one day about the Tour de France, and we said, I wonder how I would like to ride across Canada. And so then we said, okay, when we graduate, we'll ride across Canada. And so then when I graduated from Queen's, we cycled across Canada, and that was an awesome experience. And I guess I probably should have cycling before that, but that was when I really cycling was good, and I rode to work, but that's when I started loving cycling. That wasn't until I rode for like 10,000 kilometers that summer I realized I love cycling. But so then I found that I went to UVic to my master's in public administration in 2003, and then I got there. I decided to start triathlon, and so I was doing triathlon for 7 months, training with the team, and every Friday, a group of 3 or 4 of us would go on a ride for about 2 or 3 hours every Friday morning after swim practice. And this Friday, I remember August 1st, 2003, I remember there's a fire. Our swimming was at a lake, which was in a wooded area, and there's a fire in the area. So our swim was canceled that morning because of forest fire. But we went for a ride like normal time, like 10 or whatever. And that's as much as I remember. And apparently during that ride, I just get off the road and hit a tree on my head, broke my helmet, broke my head, but broke my helmet, and ended up in coma. And for 2 weeks, I was in coma for a week. Then they didn't like how I was coming out of it, so they put me back in for another week. And then I came out of my coma in Victoria 2 weeks later, and I could barely talk, couldn't stand or sit up even, or obviously not walk, but that was a daunting task. And then, so I was there in Victoria for another 3 weeks, I guess. I mean, the whole time was a blur. And yeah, so I was there for another 3 weeks. And I flew home on September 11th, 2003 though, so it wasn't a crazy September 11th, but to back in 2003, and back to health sciences, and then I got there. I could barely sit up, if at all. I couldn't walk. My talking was pretty bad, and I didn't really realize what was going on then. Actually, Steve here, Benny, my friend, I tried to climb, and he came visit me the second night I was home, and I tried to climb his back and get to the hospital, and he wasn't having that. And so I was there for another month. Then I went to rehab at the medical center for just down there for 5 months. And when I was there, it was, I guess, December. When I took my I was in a wheelchair the whole time, so I took my first steps in December. So that would be 4 months after my injury, or 3 months, 4 months after 3 months after my injury. Took my first steps. I was still that was just like 2 steps, and then I was still in rehab for another 2 months, in actually inpatient rehab, like sleeping there, eating there, going to physio, OT, psychology, recreational speech, and so that was until end of February of 2004, and then as soon as I got there, I went to outpatient rehab, so day hospital. I was there until December of 2004, just learning how to walk, and that's when I met Jane Shears, my physio, who was incredible. I can't begin to describe it anyway. So as soon as I got in there, I was using a walker. He gave me a walker to use, and I got out of rehab. He gave me a wheelchair too, but I refused to use it. And I guess as soon as I walked in the rehab doors, Jim would come, take my walker and said, "You're not doing this anymore." Just so when I was in there, she'd keep an eye on me, but I had to walk everywhere, and I think that really is the reason I don't know the reason I walk. I'm walking now because it's 7 years ago, but the reason I could start walking when I did, and so I was, and I mean, her physio there was incredible, and I stopped going there in December of '04. January of '05, I started at outpatient third services in the Mill Center. I was there until September, again doing rehab, but at lesser time, so I got to go home and nights and like after even just an hour or two of rehab physio, which is only like 3 times a week, so I got to rest more and couldn't really do much other than rest, read, and go to physio. I swam actually 2 or 3 times a week, I think 3 times a week, but it wasn't very long, and I couldn't really do much more than a lap or two, or I weren't that, but anyway. But so then in August I stopped going to the outpatient rehab, and then in September I decided before September that I would go back to UVic and finish my master's, which I cut short by after 7 months of doing a master's. I was in brain injury, so then I went back to finish it off, and I could have done this all now from St. John's by distance, but I decided that I'd go back to give it a shot. My parents were enough to even let me leave, but I mean I was barely functional, so it was it was great. And so I went back and that was a long, boring, well not boring, a long, tough 8 months. It could be boring, lonely, I guess is the better word. 8 months of just I had physio once a week there, which was again awesome, and going to not class, but I'd do his paper, just one send me. It was class, but it was kind of by distance from my dorm room, and then I finished off my master's report in July, and so I left Victoria in end of the school year, April. Came back home, worked for a few months on my 2 months on my final report, and defended it in July. Finished that off, and looked down for work for 5 months, 6 months, and found a job in Ottawa. Moved to Ottawa in '07. Didn't have any rehab there. Didn't go to physio. But what I did was I just walked to work every day. I swam 2-3 times a week, depending. And I walk to work was probably about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. And yes, that was and it got longer and shorter depending on what I was doing, obviously. And yeah, so that was all my physio and swimming, walking and swimming, my whole physio and rehab experience in Ottawa. I was there for 3 years, '07 to last May. Then last May I got a job with the government as a trade policy officer with the government here. Moved back home. I've been home ever since, and I've been swimming twice. Well, I was swimming twice a week. Now I'm to 3 times a week, which I'm feeling great, and swimming's getting a lot better. And yeah, last August. I started my blog, and which was this blog right here, and I talk about. Well, I've originally started talking about sports, NFL, NHL, NFL mostly, but NHL, and brain injury and why the importance of brain injury, blah blah blah. But the importance of brain injury, I probably didn't know anything, but I started talking about brain injury and concussions because that was what sports focused on. And so I started this blog in August of last year. Then in October of last year, there was huge, one Sunday in football in October, there was like, I don't know how many, like 5 or 6 like big concussions, big hits, and penalties given out and fines and stuff. So that's when people started, well, the news, Globe Mail actually did a great job of covering this before that. And this is when New York Times and everyone got on board and started really following it closely. and that's when other sites start popping up, like in the States, the concussion blog, which I'll show you, which is right. If I organize this spell, I will tell you where it is. Right here. See, this is the one. Where's this? Anyway, if this works, which doesn't. Anyway,
I'm gonna forgive him. He's a Mac user right now.
it doesn't work. I don't click. Anyway, that's not really important. But
Oh, it should click. Oh, it's coming. Open and
okay, wait. That's frankly enough. That's not funny enough. Not the right page.
Oh, it's coming,
Link
it's
I clicked on.
It's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Anyway, that's another. These are all great links. So anyway, so I researched a lot of just on brain injury and other sites, and
Just open up the other tab.
my this yeah. Anyway, and so these are all the sites. These are some of these are a few months old. I haven't updated this in a while, but these are some of the sites I found centering on sports, and this little bit I wrote. So anyway, I started writing on sports, like pro sports and concussions. Then in January, I started writing on just my feelings, how I was feeling that day, or about any topic in particular. And I went off on that. And I was picked up actually by the concussion blog, which I'll find that link for you. And in the States. And eventually this will open too, I'm sure. Oh, there you go. And so yeah, so this blog. And just I started running for them, and now I'm hopefully once they get this up running, the stopconcussions.com, which is run by Keith Primo and Kerry Goulet, who's a hockey player in Germany, and so that's where my writing is now. That's where this is one side, and this is a lot of stuff on. A lot of is Chicago-based stuff, but anyway, yeah. So basically, I'll talk now about what my challenges have been since my injury, and I think because of my injury, when I was injured, I've had depression since my injury. As far as since I woke up, and that's been around for. They tried to. I remember going to eye doctors in at the Health Sciences when I was, obviously a month and a half out, and they looked at my eyes, and I thought, okay, we'll just not today, but next time down there, which will be in a week, they'll figure out it'll be fine. But this double vision is not going to wait. It's been there since August 1st of 2003, and now I'm going back. I've had surgery 3 times on the eyes, and it's still double, but hopefully I'll go back. Actually, I'm going to the doctor on Tuesday, and hopefully he'll tell me some good news about that. But the whole double vision thing is really throwing off my. I don't thrown off, but I think it hurts my walking. I've obviously learned to walk and I can swim again, but can't see things in one singular vision. It's difficult for any sports I'm playing. So I can't really. Aside from my physical limitations, I can't really play sports anymore like I did. So basketball, water polo. I can't really do that as well as I'd like to. And a lot of it has to do not with my physical abilities, so I'm sure I can get those back and up and running, but more so how my depression affects my physical limitations. And I find that is probably the most frustrating thing, because it affects not only sports, but my walking, all that. The way I walk, the way I see the ground for me, stairs are really a lot, big trouble. I got not too slow, but I need a rail. I can't, I walk upstairs, looking down, I see, 2 stairs or like a stair and like a half kind of thing, because they just kind of overlap, and so that makes it difficult. But I'm always hopeful that if I ever do get my vision up and back to one single vision, that I hope it'll help not fix permanently, but help my physical limitations. But who knows?